Hey, MacDowin here. Today we are taking a look at the newly released Injustice 2 Gorilla Grodd from McFarlane Toys. I found it at Target for $19.99. Not expected until April 10. These seem to have popped up early in some places. So let's take a quick look at the back of the box. And here's the barcode for those who want it. Alright, let's get this figure out and take a look at him. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe so you'll be notified of future videos. There's really not a lot to this figure, accessory-wise. He's got no accessories. He's got a trading card back here that's got some information on the back. He's got this round DC figure stand. Let's try to get you to see. It says DC right there. Beyond that, that's it. He's got no accessories. So all you get here is the figure. I have a tape measure here real quick, and I will do a quick measurement. He's standing at probably what I would consider to be a halfway decent height, but he is a little bit bigger. Well, not but yeah, whatever. He stands, as best as I can tell, I'm looking straight on, gotta hold this thing down, at probably slightly over 7.5 inches tall. So we'll do a quick comparison now. Here's the Flash. So he is a little bit bigger than the Flash. And therein lies the problem to a lot of people, because the reality is the character of Gorilla Grodd is much bigger. So this is a 7.5 inch figure. If he's going to be in proper scale with the other figures, then he'll probably be somewhere between 10 and 12 inches tall. You can correct me and give me your thoughts on about where he should be height-wise. But he's definitely a smaller figure. I'll bring Flash back again. Here, let's just pop up a few others. There's a Halo figure real quick. There is a Predator figure real quick. And there is a Fortnite Brawlers figure real quick to kind of show you scale. What I would say is actually he would scale pretty well. Pardon my thuddings here. He would probably scale really well with a 6-inch figure if you're wanting him to be bigger, because he's obviously bigger than about a 6-inch figure. We've got the Star Wars figure there. So he's bigger, so that's better. But when you compare him next to a Flash, unfortunately, it's pretty bad if you want a character that's in a proper scale. Okay, let's jump off the scale thing. We've covered that. You can see it. You probably know it. Let's get on to the good positive sides. First off, he's got 22 points of articulation according to the box. But the figure does look really cool. It looks really nice. There is some effort that's been put in to this armor. He's got the skulls and the spikes, the decoration, the ornamentation. The helmet is really pretty awesome. Flip it around to the back. He does have a little bit of a toe problem. We'll get to that. But he's a gorilla. He doesn't want to just stand still. Yeah, anyway. Get him standing properly, maybe. But the ornamentation, everything, the design really is a cool looking figure. His helmet, the look of his face, it's a cool figure. So, try to get him to stand here. You would think a big figure like this with so much armor on would have a lot of hindrance. And yes, it's true. He does have some hindrance. His head actually moves around quite nicely. He can look down and he can look up probably about as much as he needs to. His arms will rotate around at the shoulders. He's got the ball butterfly joint. He can bring his arms up about this high, which is pretty good, I think, for this softer rubber up here. He does have a bicep rotation. Instead of double pin at the elbow, let's see, right there you can see, he's got a single pin at the elbow. He does have wrist hinge right there. I don't see that he can rotate the wrist at all. So that's going to be, I don't know if it's a hindrance, but the functionality is simply not there. His torso wiggles around actually. Let's make sure we're in focus here. He actually wiggles around quite nicely. His waist moves, so you can get him into some really good poses, and the armor really does not hinder this midsection at all. If you want him to do the splits, he can go up about that far, and he can move his legs back and forth. He's got, again, single pin at the knees, just like the elbows, and that's about as straight as you can get them. He's a gorilla, so they always stay bent to some degree. That's as straight as you can get. He's got a rotation and a hinge at the ankle, and then the toe has a hinge there. So you're going to have to work on posing him just a little bit to make sure he'll stand. The toes on mine seem pretty loose. And so if you have him too far forward, mine tends to just fall right over. So you just gotta be careful. At least I gotta be careful how I get him to stand and pose him. But man, he's a big figure. He may not be a tall figure, but he is a big figure. And again, he's not as tall, or he is as tall as Flash. He should be much bigger to scale. But yeah, he's a little bit darker looking in the game. I think the armor, the gold armor, is a little bit brilliant and bright on this figure. It seems like it's more subdued. But then again, Flash was a little bit more subdued as well. But I think he looks really cool. I think he looks great as a figure, minus those other problems that are pretty apparent. All right, let's do some action poses here real quick and see how he looks in a variety of poses. There's two things that I noticed while I was working on posing him. One is that he does have a wrist rotation right there. It's actually easy once you get them rotating. The second is I wish that the mouth actually had a hinge so you could shut his mouth or keep it open. I believe and I think that adds a whole new layer of posability and posing with this figure if sometimes he could have his mouth shut or open. Right now, he's in a perpetual state of growling, yelling, roar. I mean, it's really cool, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I wish we could be able to actually close his mouth and open it. Overall, even despite the problems with this figure, and there are a few, the glaringly obvious he's not as big as he should be, besides some of these little flaws, overall, I do think this is a pretty nice looking figure. I'm happy to have gotten it, and quite pleased to be able to add it to my ever-growing DC Multiverse collection of action figures. It's a very cool looking figure, and so yeah. Anyway, but again, I will say this in closing, if we get more Injustice 2 action figures, I would really, really like to see Dr. Fate and Blue Beetle. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and watching. What do you think about this figure? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And on your way out, don't forget to check out my recent review of Injustice 2 The Flash. He is a pretty cool figure in the lower left-hand corner. Anyway, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.